Hey there, it's Laurel, and I'm here today with my top 10 card making supplies. This is a list of 10 products I think every card maker should have in their stash. So most of these items are very affordable, so let's just get right to it. First up, number one is acrylic blocks or the Misti stamping tool. So first up, you're going to need an acrylic block anytime you're using your clear stamps. The acrylic blocks that I recommend are from CatherinePooler.com. They come in a bunch of different sizes, but all of her acrylic blocks, first of all, have grid lines on them, which is a lifesaver for lining up your images or sentiments. All of the blocks have finger grooves in them. They're rounded corners with a little place to kind of stick your fingers so you can hold those blocks. It's very comfortable. There are no sharp edges. It's nice and rounded and smooth, so no kind of sticking your hands on those corners. So I love these blocks. I highly, highly recommend them. To take it one step further, a Misti stamping tool is kind of a godsend for me. I use it a lot when I'm doing mass production or selective stamping. How you use the Misti stamping tool is kind of like this. You want to take a piece of cardstock and put it in the right-hand corner or the corner of your Misti. I'm right-handed, so I always go for the right corner, but you can do the left corner or whatever. And it does come with magnets. I'm not going to use them today because I'm using a small piece of cardstock here, but anyway, put it in the corner of your Misti. Then take a stamp and kind of line it up. I am using the ruler measurements on the right and left hand side of the Misti. Then I'll take that clear door, as I call it, and press down, and it's going to pick up that stamp. The clear door also has grid lines on it as well, so another way to line up your stamps. And then you just press your stamp down. You ink up your stamp and then press it down into your cardstock. And as long as that cardstock is nestled in that right hand corner, you're going to get exact precision every time. So that's good if you kind of mess up on inking up your stamp and mess up on stamping, or if you want to do multicolored stamping or anything like that. Number two is white cardstock. Having some good old-fashioned white cardstock is great. I love the Catherine Pooler Premium White. I use that cardstock anytime I'm doing coloring of any kind. It's just such a great high-quality cardstock. For my everyday cardstock, I use Nina Solar White. I buy it in the ream, so it comes with 250 sheets, so that ream lasts me almost an entire year, but that's good quality cardstock as well. It comes in 80-pound or 110-pound. Next up is black ink pad. Having a good black ink pad is key. The main ink pad that I use is from Catherine Pooler. It's the Midnight ink pad. All of the Catherine Pooler ink pads are different than most of the other ink pads because they have a foam pad. With the foam pad, you get very good juicy ink in the pad, but it also is able to deliver very even stamping coverage. So it's great for sentiments, it's great for backgrounds, it's just a great universal ink pad. They also come in an array of rainbow colors. Oh yeah. The ink pad that I use when I'm doing any kind of Copic or alcohol ink coloring is the Memento Tuxedo Black ink pad. I've had this ink pad since I started crafting. So that's always my go-to. It's just it's kind of embedded in the brain here to always reach for this ink pad anytime I'm doing Copic coloring. And another ink pad that is fairly new on the market that's a very good universal ink pad is the Gina K Amalgam. I'm probably saying that amalgam ink. I'm saying that wrong, but it's a great ink pad. It's also archival. It's waterproof, so you can use it with your watercoloring and also your alcohol ink markers as well. Okay, so number three on the list is adhesives. We have a dry adhesive, which is usually a glue runner form, or a wet adhesive. The glue runner or dry adhesive that I like is from Thermoweb. It's fantastic. It's a permanent adhesive. It's refillable. It's very inexpensive to buy the refills all the time. And it has a pivoted end. And let me show you what I mean by that, which is another reason why I'm very much drawn to it. I am able to make little turns so I can go around the corner of any kind of die cut image I'm using or whatever. I'm able to get in good places because it has that pivot on the end. So I'm a huge fan. The liquid glue that I use is from Nuvo. It has a deluxe adhesive glue. It is clear when it dries. It comes out white, but it dries clear, which is everything because I'm super messy. And it has that fine precision tip that has never clogged on me, not even once. And this comes in a 2-ounce bottle, so it's going to last you a really long time. Number 5 on the list is trimmer and scissors. The paper trimmer that I have used since the beginning of time and it has held up a very long time, is the Fisker's Wire Guide Trimmer. So it's 12 inches, so it has a little arm that extends out to get to 12 inches wide, but it has this wire guide, so you are able to see exactly where you are cutting. This is everything to me. The tips are replaceable, very inexpensive. They're titanium blades, so they last a very long time. The scissors that I use now are from Tim Holtz and Ranger, and they are these 9.5-inch titanium shear scissors. So they're super long. They come with that protective tip case there to keep everything safe. And I'm able to get one cut out of a standard piece of cardstock, 4.25 by 5.5. I get a cut in one pass. So these are my go-tos. Next up on the list here is the Teflon bone folder. I will be the first to admit I was a skeptic on this little baby. I just used the little bone folders that came in my scoring pad, but I'm going to tell you right now, no. This really is the difference between night and day. So this Teflon bone folder, obviously it's made out of Teflon, so number one, it's super strong, and it also doesn't leave that shine that you get behind when you're using some of the other bone folders, and I'll show you what I mean in just a second. So this is kind of leading into number 6 on my card making top 10 items that you need, and that's a scoring board. So I'm going to use my Teflon bone folder, and that's the scoring board, and I'll show you that in just a minute. And I'm just going to create little scored lines here. And this is a great fun way to get some texture on your background with little effort. So you just kind of create scored lines, and poof, you've got this fun background that you can ink up or leave it as is if you want. But here's another use. This is what I use my bone folder for the most. I'm able to cut and score my cardstock, as you can see here. So when I scored it, I was able to use the flat end of that bone folder to press that crease and give me a really nice crease. And there was no like shine left behind like I would get with some of the other bone folders that I used. Now there are a lot of scoring boards out on the market. This is the one that I bought first years and years ago, and I like it just fine. There's no need to change. This is the Martha Stewart scoring board. It does come with a scoring folder, but I don't use that. As you can see, it also comes with a little envelope liner, so you can create your own custom envelopes. But again, this is used to create scoring lines on your paper projects. Number 8 is a Tsquared Ruler. So inexpensive and so needed. It helps when you're drawing straight lines. I can't draw a straight line, and even though I have all those grid lines on my mat, I need something to help me. Now, sure, you can use maybe the edge of a piece of cardstock, but that T up at the top, it holds my paper in place. So I'm able to put my cardstock right up at the top of that line and get a perfectly straight line every time. Number 9 are coloring mediums. I'm going to show you a couple of different options, but you can do something so simple as this. These are Crayola markers. This is my daughter's. I took it right off her desk. They're double tipped. They're dual tipped. Not double tipped, they're dual tipped. And so they have a fine tip and a brush tip, as you can see here, but they're also water reactive, so you can do some watercoloring with them. And they blend really well, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But first I'm just showing you how easily they write. So Crayola markers, seriously. What I use a lot are these dual tipped Tombow markers. They're great for, again, writing, journaling. They are also water reactive. So first I'm going to show you my Tombow marker here. See, as you can see, they're very similar to the Crayolas. So you've got that fine tip, you've got that brush tip. So I'm going to show you here quick how easily it blends. This is the Tombow, and it blends very easily with water, but then I'm going to grab that Crayola marker over there that I just used and show you how that blends as well. And I was pleasantly surprised. It's just great. They're great. Crayolas come a long way since I was a kid, I got to tell you. The markers that I use a lot when I'm doing straight up watercoloring are these Nuvo Aquaflow pens. They have a brush tip on the end. They come in beautiful, beautiful colors, very vibrant, and these blend like butter. There's like little to no effort. So I'm putting the pen direct to the paper, as you can see. Then I'm just going to grab a wet brush and blend it out. Look at that. Look how pretty that is. Easy peasy, I gotta say. So here's another option for the alcohol markers. Copic markers are great, and they can be very expensive. These are the Altenew Artist markers. They are also alcohol markers. They come in a variety of colors. They also have a brush tip and a fine tip, has a blender pen, and they work fantastic. So this is a great alternative for your alcohol markers. And if you're looking for a watercolor pan set, this one from Altenew is awesome. Look at these beautiful colors I've got swatched out. It's a 36 pan set. They blend awesome, and they come in this amazing set ready for you to use. I mean, need I say more? I tell you. So these are a bunch of different options. You don't need them all. Pick what works for you, but I just wanted to kind of show you what I use. But a coloring medium of some type is really going to take your card making to the next level. And that finally brings us to number 10, which is stamps. You got to have stamps for card making. So I went through my stash and I pulled the stamps that I have that I will never ever purge. These are kind of essential stamps that you can use year round. Now, I know these are hard to read, so remember that I do have all the products that I'm talking about listed below in the YouTube description for you. First up is a stamp set called Totally Random Sayings. I like it because it's an all occasion sentiment set, but it has a mixture of fonts. So those larger fonts are actually like brushstroke style, so I think they're fun. And because of the versatility of the set, you can build a whole bunch of different custom sentiments that you can use year round. Next up is this funny stamp set from Honeybee Stamps. It's called Blah, Blah, Blah. Seriously. And I love it because, again, it's more sentiments that you can custom build and, say whatever you want. But there's a couple that I'm especially think is awesome. I don't want to. Sorry, it's going to be okay. So you can do something serious, but then you can kind of add something funny in. Life happens. Coffee helps me. Anything with coffee I'm going to grab. So this is another great universal stamp set. Then you have that one or two friends that you can be real sassy with. So let me introduce you to Sassy Pants, best friends for my favorite things. There are some funny sentiments in here, but the ones that grab me, that is so something I would say is, I really miss you, but probably not as much as you miss me because I'm totally awesome. Another one, you are not normal, and I love it. So these are all funny things I would totally say to certain friends of mine. Now let's get a little bit more classy and serious. This is a set from Concord and Ninth called Being Classy. It's got those big word fonts, comes with a coordinating die. You can sentiment build and create a nice set of a very classy-like cards as well. So this is great year-round. You can build them up how you want. Now, having a good birthday set is always important because everybody's got a birthday. So this set from Catherine Pooler called I Eat Cake, I just adore. I love the cupcakes and the tier and the sentiment, a party without cake is just a meeting. I think that's really hilarious. But this set you can build up and kind of create your own custom cupcakes and stuff. And I'll show you a card that I made here where I created all these different cupcakes with this one stamp set. And all those beautiful ink colors, those are all Catherine Pooler inks, by the way. So great set. You can really create some fun things with this. So it's a keeper for sure. And now I'm going to move into some florals. I have a couple of different floral stamp sets that are great for any kind of occasion, any kind of theme, any kind of sentiment. This is the Mondo Peony stamp set from Ellen Hudson. I love it. It's the first of the Mondo line that she created, and I created these two cards with it. You can see I left one blank and added a sentiment to another. Fun for watercoloring, paper piecing, whatever floats your boat. But this is a great, I'm never, ever, ever, I keep saying that, but that's why this is in my video. These are things I'm never going to get rid of. So I'll stop saying that because you're sick of hearing it. This is a background stamp from the 10 Stamps called Rose Terrace. It's gorgeous, and you can create simple cards because the background and the detail of that stamp is amazing, just amazing. This is a card I created with very simple inking and stamping. Another floral card I adore is the Frosted Garden stamp set from Altenew. The way this stamp set was created, it's going to look like you did some beautiful painting, when really I just did some beautiful inking of my stamps. So this one is, look at this card. It does come with a coordinating die. You can see some of those flowers are popped up, but that's the stamp and just adding some ink. Let me move into a few backgrounds and borders. This is a stamp set from Catherine Pooler. It's a kaleidoscope stamp set. It is so very detailed, as you can see here. This stamp speaks for itself. Here I did a bunch of coloring with markers, but you can do some heat embossing. You can do some selective inking. You can do watercoloring. This stamp is so beautiful. This is the Modern Plaid stamp set from the 10 Stamps. Another gorgeous background that would go with anything you put on top of it. This is Yay Stripes from Catherine Pooler. I love those little stripe lines, the vertical and diagonal. You can see I just added a little touch of diagonal stripes to the left of this card, and it really pulled that card together. And last but not least is the stamp set from Altenew called Watercolored Frames. Now this is especially cool because this stamp set was designed by using real paint. So they created these little painted backgrounds and then turn it into a stamp. So this is a great way to create like a little fun splash of watercolor on your projects. Here I stamped one of the images as like a splash of blue coming out from a toolbox for a masculine card. So I love this stamp set. There's a lot you can do with it. You can use it all the time. I've said that before. I've said that for everything, and I told you I wasn't going to say that anymore. But guess what? I mean it, because this video is over. So there you have it, the top 10 card making supplies I think every card maker should have. I sure hope this video was helpful to you. I'm sorry I was kind of rambling a little bit here and there, but it did take me a while to pull all of this together. So again, I hope you liked it. And thanks so much for watching. And be sure to be a subscriber of my channel and click on that notification bell if you haven't already, so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Here is a video that may be of interest to you. I have lots of playlists and other videos on my channel, so I hope you'll check it out. Thanks so much for joining me. I'll see you next time.